Hello and welcome to this online course where I'll be taking you on content creation. Now, as an online entrepreneur, your content is a must. You cannot run away from creating content. But how good and how sharp your content is in impacting your audience will go a long way to determine how profitable you would be as an online entrepreneur. So it's very important that you pay critical attention to your content, because this is what displays you as as a brand, okay? Either a trusted brand or not, because this is how people will judge you. It will be based on the things they can see and read about you online, since they are unable to see you physically or to see your shop where you'll be able to convince them. So the content you put out there consistently is what will show, is what will tell your audience the kind of brand that you are. So you want to be very, very careful that you don't get this part wrong. This is about the most important part of your online business marketing. All right. Now I'll move on to what a good content must be. All right. So I would say quickly that a good content must be relatable. That's the very first thing. When I, as your ideal client, reads or watches your video or anything you are putting out there, I must be able to relate with it. And that's why you must know your ideal customer. So whenever you are putting out any form of content, you must ensure that it addresses the person you want it to address. That's why you must have a customer avatar. That would tell the kind of call outs that you give your content, the kind of title or something you give your content. It's important that your content is relatable with your ideal customer. The second thing is, a good content must be educational. You must, one way or the other, be able to educate your audience perfectly. There's no over emphasizing that. Promotional content are best as adverts, not as content on your blog or on your social media handle pages and all that. No, it must be educational. Rather than asking people to buy from you, educate them on why your own goods and services are better for them and why they should invest their money with you. So you must educate your customers, or else they will not really feel the need to buy from you. Another thing is, your content must be inspirational. No matter what, people just love it when you help them to feel better about themselves. There's so much pressure happening in the world right now, and the world needs a dose of inspiration. So either you're selling a shoe or a piece of art, you have to make your content inspirational, such that anyone who reads it has a lifting of the soul. And of course, it has to be entertaining. Like I said, there's so much pressure and everything. When you make people laugh, they can't forget easily. When you just, once in a while, throw out, some funny stuff about yourself and everything, and then people would smile, and then they'll be able to relate with you better. Then your content has to be relevant. Not always, but a good content that that you want to put out there to show the kind of person you are, kind of brand that you are, it must be relevant. Okay? What I mean is, it must be pertaining to your niche. All right? So even if you're saying a joke about a popular actress or something, it has to it has to come home to what your brand is about eventually, because that is how people will perceive you, from the things that you share. All right. Then of course, you must consistently put out your content. You cannot just come do it once and then leave. You just can't post on Facebook one day and then you're no longer there. You must consistently do what you have to do, because this is like you opening your shop every day. So imagine you're opening, you have a brick and mortar shop, and then you don't open up your shop every day. How do you expect to make sales? So it's non-negotiable for you to post consistently. Your content must be shareable. Okay, then you must employ all the technical plugins and everything that allows your content to be shareable. Don't just put a content where no one would see it, or where they would not even know that it's there and they're not be able to share it. Your content must be so good that people will want to share it. All right, then your good content must be leading. What I mean by leading is leading to sales. Yes. So no matter what it is that you write out there, ensure that it is leading to a sale that you have to something that you have to sell. So you just don't put out content for the sake of content, except just to have fun and everything. But still, it must lead your audience to buy something from you eventually. And that's why it's also related to monetizable. Your content must be so good that you can actually package it together and sell. Yes, it must be that good. All right. So now, types of content, in case you are wondering, you have the text. That means written words. You just type out your word, write them out and post on social media, or post on your blog post on your website, anywhere online. You also have audio. You could have audio recordings, that's and then you also put this out on your website. You could have videos. I mean, right now videos are the rave. You could have podcasts. All right, you could have pictures actually as your content as well. So all these form the types of content that you can use to express yourself online. What's the purpose of your content? I mean, when you're creating content, you must be able to file them under these 5 categories. It's either is to teach your audience how to do something. All right, so you are either showing them how to do this, how to write well, how to speak and write well, how to save money from doing this and all that. It may also be to show statistics. Probably you have some things going on in your field, and then you want to show your audience how that is going to impact their lives and all that. You could also show statistics. And that one is list post. You could just simply say 5 reasons why this must happen, or 5 things you can do to do this. So you're putting a number to it. Another purpose of your content is to solve a particular problem. All right. So you could come up with a major issue that your audience is having, and then give a solution. I mean, a rounded solution to that problem. Another one is Q&A. You could simply want to answer questions of your audience. That's just it. Very simply, you watch the trends, you see their questions, and then you do an answer post to their questions. Another thing is, what are the sources of your content? Generally speaking, you can use surveys to get your content. What do I mean by that? I mean, you could ask your audience what they would like to know. Very simply, you don't have to assume. You just put it out there on your social media. You could ask, what's the greatest struggle you have right now with so thing? If you are into baby food, you can just ask, okay, what's the issue you have right now with feeding your baby? If you are into catering services, you could just ask, what are the major issues you have on this, and then your audience will feed you back. All right. So you could just simply take a survey. As in, a survey is like, it's more, what would I call it now? It's more technical, so to speak. People just pick a form. You could use monkey surveys or something, and then they would give you a reply. And based on their answers, you would give them a content. Or you could, like I said, your audience they could come to you and ask you questions. So based on what they are saying, you listen, and then you create your content around that area. Then you could also watch trends in your niche. See what's happening, see what's new, see what's actually what people are talking about in your niche, and then you can write about this. Then the one I love the most is what I call the brain dump. The brain dump. Here, I advise you to just pick a plain sheet of paper and then begin to write out in simple words the things you know about your niche, the things you know about your business. Begin to write them down, one by one. It could be SEO, marketing, sales pages, anything you know. It could be baking, sugar making, whatever, as in everything that has to do with your area of business. Write them down in, single words, and then turn the page and begin to form sentences and paragraphs with all the words that you have listed in the page before, and then you'll be able to create a whole lot, because chances are that you know more than the average person, in your niche. So it's great for you to do a brain dump. I mean, the things you've read, the things the trainings you've attended, all these things are somewhere in your head. So you need to just calm down and then begin to release them one by one. This is one that works for me the most. I just do a brain dump every now and then. The things I know, I just put them out there, and then I'm able to now put flesh to the lists I've made. All right. Now, the content of a great content. Okay. 1, your content must address a specific audience, like I said, which means you must know your customer. You must have a customer avatar. The second one is a great title. I know most people write these days without putting titles to it, but really a title could just simply be a call out. Dear salary earner, dear network marketer, dear mother, dear online buyer or seller. When you have a great title, it catches the eyes. It makes your reading more appealing, especially to those you have targeted it to appeal to. All right. Now, your content must also have a good construction. I mean, your grammar should be flawless. Online, it's pretty distracting for you to post something that, the grammar is not so good, the punctuations, the paragraph, come on. It's distracting, and it will be a good investment for you to invest in an editor, someone that will help you look through your writings or everything before you post out there online. Your content should also have a seamless flow. I mean, your flow of thoughts. So it's good for you to have like a small reminder or something of what, if you're doing a video, for example. When I do videos, I actually have a board in front of me where I would have listed out the things I want to say. It makes your flow of thoughts seamless. And then if you are writing, flow with the from starting the story to the middle to the finishing, or you could start from the beginning and then end. It's just great for you to have a seamless flow of thoughts when you're writing. It would also help your audience to better relate with what you have written. And then easy to the eyes. I mean, you're paragraphing in, if you're doing a text, if it's video, ensure that you look good in your video. Ensure that you have you have a good light. Ensure that you have a good camera, so that when at the first glance your audience is not put off. They're not put off by just seeing, without even having to read first. So then, a good content must have the 3 S's. Now, this is a new one. Your content must logically convey your message, which means it must appeal to the part of the brain that wants, logical answers, the part of the brain that wants figures, that wants something definite. And also it must appeal to the emotions. So you can have facts and figures, okay? Logical in your content, You also want to have the emotional part of it, because that is how people would buy from you, when you're able to share your story with them. Okay, and then it must be visceral. What I mean by it must be humane. It must show your gut. Your persona must come out in your content. People must be able to see you when they read you, or when they watch your video, or when they listen to your audio. Okay, this is actually very critical in making your customers buy from you. And then more importantly, your content must have a call to action. When you are posting online, never ever ever make the mistake of not including a CTA to your content, which is a call to action. A call to action is you telling your audience what exactly you want them to do at the end of your post. So it may be ask them to share, it may be ask them to comment, it may be ask them to ask a question, or ask them to answer. You must have a CTA. That is how you create engagement with your content. Don't just put out your content because you are into baby food, then you just share content on maize, on guinea corn, on food stuff, and then you just post. No, encourage your audience to say something. People don't really know until you tell them what to do. Really, seriously, try it. You will see the difference. Of course, media. So if you're writing, you want to include a picture, something that is related to what you have posted. All right. So media, the picture is very important to add to your text post. And of course, if you're doing videos, awesome. You just nailed it, because videos, have a way of, of telling plenty story. People are able to relate with you. They're able to see you. When you say pictures tell 1,000 words, I believe videos tell million words. I mean, it represents 1,000 words. I believe videos, represents million words that you just can't put a number to it. Now, by virtue of you taking this model, I want you to do these 4 things for me, for yourself, for your business actually. And that is to do 1, a brain dump. So like I said, brain dumping is like one of the best ways for you to come up with content. So now you want to brain dump. Spend like 1 hour, as often as possible, weekly or something, and then release what release it. Have a content book where you can easily release the things put them down and begin to add flesh to them later on. And of course, start creating your content. Don't wait till you have everything perfect. Start creating. Start the creation process now, and also engage with your audience. So it's not only when you post and people reply that you actually engage, even on their own platforms. So say for example, you are posting on Facebook or something, engage with your friends engage with people that come to your page to comment. All right, engage in groups that you belong to. Don't just post in groups and leave and then come back only when you have comments on your own post. No, please do not make this mistake. You want to also engage people in their own posts, so that they will reciprocate when you make your own posts as well. All right, then you want to track what's really happening with your posts. Track the ones that are working, the ones that are not working, and then see how you can edit, blend, listen to your audience. All right, it's very important to listen to your audience, and then track your success record, measure and test. See the post that engages people the most, and then replicate it. See the ones that are not really drawing attention or engagement, and then of course you put a stop to that, and then do more of what people are responding to. All right, that's it for this model. I hope you would take time to do these activities, and then watch again and again, and have this ingrained in you, and begin to practice what you have learned. All right, thank you for watching. See you next time.